I love Gambit and Channing Tatum, but today we're diving into a topic that's been buzzing around the Marvel community: Channing Tatum's Gambit, and why a solo movie for this character might not be the best idea. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Gambit is an interesting character with some potential, but making a solo movie for him, I have my doubts, and here's why. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. Gambit is simply not as popular as other Marvel mutants like Deadpool or Wolverine. When you think of iconic X-Men, you think of Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, maybe even Storm, but Gambit, not so much. Yes, he has his fans, and yes, he was a beloved character in the 90s X-Men animated series, but in terms of mainstream appeal, he's not in the same league. And here's where it gets tricky. Solo movies thrive on characters who can pull in a wide audience, and unfortunately, Gambit just doesn't have that pull. He's best when he's part of a team dynamic, like in the X-Men movies, where his cool factor and charm can shine without having to carry the whole film. Now let's talk about Channing Tatum. There's no doubt Tatum is a talented actor and he has a huge fan base. He's been lobbying for the role of Gambit for years, and his dedication is admirable. But let's be real, is he the right fit for Gambit? Tatum is known for his muscular build, but Gambit in the comics is more of a slim, agile type. Physically, Tatum doesn't exactly scream Gambit. Also, Gambit is known for his thick Cajun accent, a distinctive feature that adds to his mysterious rogue charm. In Deadpool and Wolverine, Tatum's cameo as Gambit was fun and worked well in a short scene. But imagine that accent carrying an entire film. It's one thing to hear it for a few minutes, and another to have it for a full 2 hours. Let's face it, that thick Cajun drawl might be hard for most people to understand, which could be a turnoff for the broader audience. From a business perspective, Marvel always aims for the big bucks, and I'm not convinced that a solo Gambit movie would hit those high numbers. Look, even though Channing Tatum's appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine created a lot of buzz, that doesn't necessarily translate to a successful solo movie. Yes, Deadpool's solo movies were a hit, but Deadpool has a unique blend of humor, irreverence, and an already established fan base that Gambit just doesn't have. If Marvel pours $100 million into a Gambit movie, they'd need to make at least double that to be considered a success. And frankly, I don't see a Gambit solo movie making $600 or $800 million at the box office. The character just doesn't have that level of appeal to draw in crowds like Deadpool or Wolverine. Now here's a twist. What if we didn't go for a Gambit solo movie? What if instead we got a Gambit and Rogue movie? Hear me out. Gambit and Rogue have a fantastic dynamic in the comics. Their romance is filled with tension, chemistry, and a lot of humor. Imagine a romantic comedy with superhero elements, starring Channing Tatum as Gambit and a strong, charismatic actress as Rogue. That's a film that could be fun, unique, and attract a wider audience than a solo Gambit flick. The chemistry between Gambit and Rogue is something that has been explored deeply in the comics, and it's a storyline that fans love. A romantic comedy set in the Marvel universe would be something fresh, a genre that hasn't been fully explored yet in superhero cinema. Plus, Tatum is great in comedy roles, and this format would play to his strengths while still giving Gambit his moment in the spotlight. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Gambit should disappear from the Marvel Cinematic Universe altogether. In fact, I think he could still play a very interesting role in future Marvel projects, just not as the lead. We know that Gambit survived Alioth's attack in the Void during Deadpool and Wolverine, and there are hints that he might show up in future projects like Secret Wars. That's great news. Having Gambit appear as a supporting character in larger ensemble films could be the perfect way to utilize him. This way, he adds value and interest without the pressure of carrying the entire story. And who knows, if audiences really fall in love with Tatum's Gambit in these appearances, maybe then a solo movie could be considered. But as of now, jumping straight into a solo film feels premature. To wrap it up, I think a Gambit solo movie is a risky bet for Marvel. Gambit isn't as popular or well-known as other characters who've led successful solo films. Channing Tatum, while a dedicated actor, may not perfectly fit the role of a lean, agile Gambit with a thick Cajun accent. And from a business perspective, a solo Gambit movie might not make the money Marvel needs to justify the investment, but all is not lost. A Gambit and Rogue movie could be a fresh take that brings something new to the table. Their chemistry and the romantic comedy angle would be a fun, engaging way to bring these characters to life in a way that could appeal to both die-hard Marvel fans and casual moviegoers alike. What do you think? Would you watch a Gambit solo movie, or do you think Marvel should go in a different direction? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time.